Welcome everybody back to another video with Chris, and today finally I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the black deck coming out in set 17, which is going to be Towa, Demon God Towa. So make sure you guys like and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and let me know what you guys think of the deck, of the archetype, of the set, just in general. I know we have a lot of mixed emotions, and currently as of recording this video we are getting the blue reveals, so we should be pretty much done here in about a week with actually the cards, so it's going to be very interesting. So with Towa, what Towa does, this is a token deck, so to speak. It's not a, and I hate saying token deck because the first thing I'm going to think of is Chilled, right? Chilled's a terrible deck. It's a terrible leader. It's not a good archetype. We'll move past that, right? So people, when they first saw this come out and they saw all the token playing, they instantly compared that to that deck. The problem is that this leader is actually probably light years ahead of what that Chilled leader can even dream of doing. And to even some, and I would be in this boat, I think Demon God Towa is probably the best black leader since Gogeta Xeno. Overall black leader. I'll actually go a step farther. I think it's the best black leader. Going into set 17, that is not a Saiyan, right? Obviously, it's very... Everyone's going to be playing Gogeta Xeno if it's not banned. And you have Super Saiyan God Trunks, which also you guys should know I absolutely love that deck, right? But this leader is better than Magic Gabora. This leader is better than Finn, in a different way, right? You have Black Sin, which is, I think, it's a whole other type of deck. So I don't even compare that because I don't think that's just a black deck, right? It's just its own archetype, right? But this is probably the best black leader that we have. That's not Gogeta Xeno. Now, how is that? Well, let's go over the leader first. We'll go over some key cards and then the deck itself. When this card attacks, you may play up to one Demon Realm Soldier token, which is a 5k combo power, 5k power, and 0 combo cost, essentially just giving you a free 5k power on board, right? Awaken. You don't draw, which is fine, not a huge deal. What's interesting about this is that you play up to, meaning that this now has a counter window 1 and a counter window 2 if you do play it. So your opponent, if they want to answer this in counter window 1, they actually have to counterplay the token. Not saying that's going to be something that's going to happen a lot, but it is very interesting that your opponent actually has to counter when counter window 1 if they want to hit this card. So now there are a lot of reasons why you would want to do that, because there's a lot of value that can occur if you get a lot of these on board. Awaken when your life is at 3 or less, or if you have a specific cost of 3 black unison in play, you may switch up to 2 energy to active mode and play up to 1 Demon Realm Soldier token. So what's nice about this is that you are a restand 2 leader. That is amazing. Second thing is you get to play up to 1 token. Again, you're gaining more value. Third thing is that you do not have to be at 3 life. So if you awaken at 7 life on turn 3, granted it's gonna be very difficult to do, but if you awaken on turn 3 with 3 life, with 7 life on turn 3, you don't have to take life down. So you just get to awaken and just be this very tanky leader for the next few turns. On the awaken side, when this card attacks, you draw, and then you play up to 1 Demon Realm Soldier token. Again, you having a counter window for your token play. It's pretty good. My first thing I think of is this in against Trunks Vegeta, which is hilarious. You play a token and it just triggers all their Trunkses and triggers their Poutine. It's hilarious. Activate main, you discard 1 card from your hand. You play up to 2 Demon Realm Soldier tokens in rest mode. Has some variations of it, why you want to do this later on. And then activate battle once per turn, spirit boost for 1 and 1 black energy with a black unison with a specific cost of 3 or more. 3 or more. Choose one of your unisons and it gets 10k power and double strike for the battle, essentially giving you a free Champa or Kai, and this way you don't actually have to declare double strike, right? It's very interesting. I like the fact that it says 3 or more, essentially meaning that in the future, if we do get 3 cost unisons or 4 cost unisons, we can play them in this deck and we could still give those double strike. This is a very interesting callback to the Vegito unison. The Vegito starter deck, right? That leader was able to give a unison 15k or whatever it was, 10k and triple strike, right? This is very similar to that, and it's a very powerful ability, something you can't really plan for. It's just you tap 1 energy, give a card 10k and double strike. It's pretty powerful, right? Now we're gonna go over some archetype cards and give you guys a little bit of idea of what I was cooking up with the deck. And these 3 are, I think, probably the 3 most key cards in the deck, and so we're going to go over those now. First one on the left is going to be Demigra Demonic Overlord. This card here is a very old card from the very first anniversary product that we got. Yeah, the very first anniversary product, which is basically a binder that came with a bunch of cards in it. And this card came in it, and saw a little bit of playability, mainly because of the Demigra leader, and the Towa deck just never really fit what it wanted to do, the old Towa deck. Now in this deck, this actually is an incredibly powerful card that we can utilize to gain advantage on both offense and then later on for defensive stuff. So activate main, you burst 2, you tap 2 if your leader is a Demigra or a Towa, and you place this card from your hand in the drop area. Choose up to one, you choose 1 or 2 cards from your life add them to your hand, and choose 1 Gravy and 1 Poutine from your deck and or Warp and play them, shuffle your deck if you look through it. This is very powerful. This allows us to play out 2 cards with no specific cost on them, with just this has to be a Gravy and a Poutine. And this also fuels your Overwhelm for Overwhelm 3. Very powerful. Second card is going to be Super Mira, Overflowing Power. This is your Unison. Auto, at the start of your opponent's turn, you choose one of your skills battle cards and it gains a blocker for the turn. Very powerful. You basically give any of your tokens blocker. Very good. Activate main, play up to 2 Demon Realm tokens. It's pretty cool. So you +1, you have to play out 10k worth of combo. It's very powerful. Activate main, remove one of your skills battle cards from the game, draw a card, and then choose 20 of your opponent's battle cards and send it to the owner's Warp. Again, a very powerful skill. This just allows you to just remove things on board. And this is just going to grant you so much value, being able to either plus up to gain tokens for other effects, making them one of them a blocker, or being able to remove one, draw a card, gain a little bit of more hand size, and then warp something on board. And they're both +1s, which is great because this Unison is just going to continue to plus the whole game. It's going to be very difficult to remove it. The other card is going to be Demon God Towa, Furious Onslaught. This is your 20k deflect double strike, essentially kind of like our version of Yellow Turles. So you've got 3 or more energy and 2 or more skills battle cards in play. Play the card from your hand. So people are thinking, oh, well, this is very difficult to play out. Why do you need the skills on play? You can +1 on your Unison and then play this, or you can pitch a card from your hand off your leader effect and play 2 tokens. It's not a big deal. Auto limit 1. Choose 2 of your skills battle cards and remove them from the game. When this card attacks, draw a card so it's card to active mode and gains 5k for the turn, essentially making this a 25k dual attack double strike that draws you a card once per turn. Incredibly powerful, right? These cards mix in together to form a very powerful deck, and we're gonna go over the rest of the list right now. Alright guys, so here is the list. This is a 54 card list, and we'll go over kind of all these cards here. There's a lot of stuff here, so you know we'll do our best here. So we already kind of went over the Demigra here, but this card is here because, for one, this allows you to, if you need to awaken and you don't have a Unison in play, you actually can awaken on turn 2. You can pop this if you go down the 5 life, right? You can pop this, burst 2, play 2 cards out, take 2 life, and then awaken and restand, 2 energy, right? Something you can do, but this just allows us to play out a ton of value in this deck, right? So you can see here we have the Poutine, the Dark Sorceress. This is one of your best targets off of this card. I figured probably running 1 or 2 is probably the best, because you can search out from the Warp or the deck. And when it comes into play, now you have your Field General on board every time they play a battle card using a skill, going in rest mode, right? It's pretty good. The other one is going to be Demon God Demon God Poutine, Imperial Warrior, 14k blocker. If you're you can actually play this card out for 1 if you have a skills battle card in play. But activate main, if your leader is a Black Demon Realm, you choose one of your tokens and remove it from the game. Play up to 1 2-drop skills battle card from your deck or drop, and shuffle your deck if you look through it. Essentially being a 1-drop 14k version of the Conjurer Invoker Towa that searches out demon cards. You tap 1 then to play a 2-drop from your deck. So now that one you can only play out 15k skillless. We are running the Gravy currently, mainly because this plays gravies, right? So we want to just have some sequencing here. This can probably go down to 1 at some point, but it's just because it has 0 combo power. But it's being able to play out a 20k for 1 energy or 2 energy essentially is very, very good. We have Demon God Poutine preparing to fight. I love this art. By the way, this is probably one of my favorite, non-SR arts for Poutine. 3-drop barrier, Dark Overwhelm 3. So it's actually the same skill, the same requirement as the TP Poutine. If your leader is black and you have a Demon Realm token in play in rest mode, your opponent's battle cards can't attack your leader. This is incredibly powerful, right? So this stops your opponent's battle cards from being able to attack your leader, so now they have to spend attacks to kill those tokens, right? And then you can also make tokens blockers, so it just gives you a lot of defense. And when this card is played from your hand, you play up to 2 Demon Realm tokens. Now, this card, as well as the Umbral Might, both play out tokens. The problem is it's only when you play them from your hand. So keep that in mind. You're not going to play those off of Demigra. Now this card you probably can play off of Demigra because you can play this guy, swing with your leader, play a token, swing at Poutine, activate battle, pop the token, draw a card, and then swing, and then so now you just swung for 25k. That's something that you can do. It's not a necessity, but I think I would rather play out one of these two off of the Demigra. You have the 1-drop Poutine here, which when you play this card, you actually can search top 3. So this is technically a card you can play off of the Demigra. Probably one of the worst ones to play off that effect, but you can do it if you absolutely need to get the card out. And then the last gravy, I think this card is very interesting for the deck. I actually ended up buying a full foil playset just to make sure, because if this card's snapped broken, it's going to be great. This is the other Realm of the God. Not Realm of the God. we're so far in advance here. The Union Warrior, set 10 set that came out that brought all the free plays. This was the blue free play. Terrible card for blue, right? Everyone thought it was a cool idea, it just never really worked out, right? This is a 5k unique blocker. If your leader is blue, we don't read this part. We don't care, right? We're gonna move on. Second auto, when this card is removed from your battle area by an opponent's skill or KO'd, meaning doesn't matter what happens. When this card leaves, either by being KO'd or by being picked off the board by something, you restand 1 of your energy. That is incredibly powerful, right? And being able to play this off of this here, you can play out a Poutine, which now stops your opponent from playing battle cards once per turn. And this, which just stops their next attack for 2 energy, right? And then this will allow you to restand an energy, which will allow you to set up more defensive plays. This card is incredibly powerful. I just added 1 just so you guys can see it, but I'm probably going to put like 2 of these in my deck at least, and probably bump this gravy down to 1 more than likely. So, but this card here I think is incredibly good for this deck. Just a very cool little tech card that I think people are probably overlooked just with looking at all of the Poutines and gravies, right? Moving on here, we've gone over all these cards here except for these top 2 ones here, which is going to be first one's going to be Demon God Towa, preparing to fight. This is one of your best turn 1 plays outside of the other Poutine. When this card is played, you may draw a card. If you don't, you play a token. So on turn 1, you can, if you go first, you can play this, draw a card, or you can play this, not draw a card, and play a token, and then use that token for combo power on your opponent's turn. Just kind of saves you from a damage, right? Active main, 1 black if your leader is a black Demon Realm race, and you choose 1 of your tokens and remove it from the game. Play up to 1 token, 1 skills battle card with energy cost 2 or less from your deck. Then shuffle if you look through it, essentially allowing us to play out this gravy again. Now again, this gravy may get taken out of the deck just because it is a 0k combo, but we may just keep 1 in just because it is playable off of now 2 cards, as you can see in the deck. The other one is going to be Demon God Salsa, Imperial Warrior. Plays out for 1 if you have if there are 1 or more tokens in your battle area. And then limit 1 card attacks. You search top 5, add up to 1 black android, black Demon Realm God, Demon God, or your unison with a cost of 3 to your hand, and shuffle. So it just allows you to just search a little bit and then get some shuffling going on. But this is also limit 1, so you cannot do more than this, than 1 per turn, which is essentially like the other Salsa from the Magic Gabora deck, so nothing really new there. Down here we have Demon God Shroom, Imperial Warrior, same effect from the activate main. This one has crit, Spirit Boost 1, choose 1 of your skills and remove it from the game. When this card attacks, it's 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 4 or less, ignoring barrier, and send it to the owner's warp. This is incredibly powerful, and realistically, this is what Black was missing that wasn't Gogeta, essentially, right? Gogeta is, part of why Gogeta is so good is because it has Fearless Fusion, right? That card being a 1 cost, I'm going to warp 1 of your battle cards, ignoring barrier 4 or less, is incredibly powerful and very underlooked when you look, very, I would say, underrated in the sense of when you just look at the deck overall, right? Trunks Vegeta being able to warp any of their Trunkses, right? Other decks just having blockers or just battle cards on board. One cost that can just warp them. Now the problem is with this card is you have to swing, you have to Spirit Boost, and you have to remove a skills battle card, right? So there are problems, right? It's not perfect, but it is very cool that we actually now are getting something like that. So I think this is a good way of balancing it. I wish they didn't balance it. I wish they just maybe removed the Spirit Boost effect from it, but it is what it is. It's still a very cool card. You're going to play it in the deck. Next card is Demon God Towa Imperial Warrior. This is the X evolve you can play on top of your Towa. When this card is played, you choose one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost 4 or less, and send it to the warp. I wish this card also ignored barrier. That would be incredibly powerful. But this is essentially like a Fearless Fusion then, right? Like the combination of these two cards equals the Fearless Fusion card. Now we have one of our best defensive cards here, which is going to be Crimson Hero Strike. Leader, activate battle if your leader and all your energy is black. Choose one of your cards and you get Snake for the battle. So we can also give it to our Unison. And then if it's our turn, we warp a card onto our opponent's board, higher energy cost than their current energy. If it's their turn, we draw a card and burst up to 3 cards. So what's cool is that you can, your first turn, you can charge and pass, and then use this on defense. Turn 2, you can play one of these, play a token, do whatever, right? Have maybe 1 or 2 tokens on board. Use those for combo power, and then use this for combo power, allowing you to, keep your hand size up because you're just using one of these, going up to 20, and then drawing a card. It's very, very powerful. Currently, we have 4 Vegetas. I think Vegeta is probably the best for the deck, but also I don't like it at all. I would rather run something else. Problem is that we're going to be overwhelming a little bit, so I don't know if the Towa, so Sparking 5, would be good. I don't know if the Gravy that comes out in this set, which also is a 4 or less, would be good. I like the Gravy because it does allow you to search it, right? I don't know. I think Vegeta is probably still the better target, at least right now. And once we get into more testing when the new set comes out, we'll be able to figure that out. 2 Support of the Dark. 3 Support of the Dark Empire, just more tokens for us, and also just being free token negates is very, very good. 2 Petrification, very good defensive card, probably need to run it. Also, you can, depending on the meta, you can probably switch this out for Protect of the People in the main deck. Kai, I think Kai is probably the best unison for the unison killer, so to speak, secret rare here, but it's probably the best secret rare for the deck. Just having, I prefer Kai. Sue me, right? And we have the 1-drop Poutine here. I already said about this. With this card, you can swap into any of these 3 Poutine. Actually, any of these 4 Poutines here are all targets. I did not add the TP Poutine card that steals a card. I think it's good. I want to do a little testing with this archetype before I try to put it in here. If I were to put that card in, I would probably, because the thing is, like, this card here takes up that slot, and this being a barrier is actually more valuable than the other Poutine. But again, you can always, kind of tech that Poutine in just so you have another target for it. So that is something you can kind of consider. But this is the deck here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck. Hopefully it was worth the wait. I will have some testing up with this deck as soon as it comes out. Obviously, we got a ways away. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, please post it down below. We can talk about it down in the comments, as you guys know that I like to do. And thank you guys, as always, for watching and supporting the channel. I appreciate it, and I will see you guys in the next video.